uh, Grammarly and AI dictated mannerisms of speech and language are precursors to the new Tower of Babel, total language control. This is something that I thought about yesterday, and it's something that I constantly think about when it comes to when things about AI and when things about like Grammarly and things about like programs or technology that will change the way in which you speak. I think that is a precursor to like the New World Order or the new, like I said, new Tower of Babel, right? It's like the Grammarly and like AI generated speech that people use for presentations or to like reorganize or adapt to new ways of speaking that are not necessarily like they are not the originators of their own expression. Like they take on something like Grammarly, they take on something like AI chat, and they instead of being the originators of their own expression, they adopt that, and that becomes their originator of their expression. So I feel like over time, when people use these kinds of technologies in order to change the way in which they present themselves, it's like that is going to be the new baseline. It's not going to be about like actually listening to people, actually like hearing someone's origination, right? It's going to be about having a standard of what should be expressed, how it should be expressed, and then accepting that and rejecting everything else. And that is like that's such a precarious position to be in. It's like a dangerous position to be in. It's eliminating nature. It's eliminating people's natural forms of expression in order to adopt this, more refined, more standardized manner of expression. It's like it allows people to be closed-minded. It allows people to reject people by completely just rejecting like someone's nature, someone's. I hope this makes sense. I really think that it's dangerous. I don't think like everyone who uses Grammarly, or every time I see an advertisement, I think about this kind of stuff. It's like you are changing your expression and you're adopting something that's like completely alien from your nature, from your origination, and you are presenting yourself as something that is a standard for people to accept and use at their own disposal. It's like if you get rid of people's natural inclination to express their own actual way, their own natural way, it's like you are limiting people's potential to live a more natural life, a life that is more suited to the environment in which they live. It's like over a long period of time, when you use Grammarly or AI chat, it's like your whole surrounding, it's like that standardized nature of language in those programs, it's like that will seep into every single aspect of your life, and your whole life will be standardized. There'll be completely nothing natural, or like there will be no circumstance or qualities around you that will be an original natural expression from your biology, your understanding, and I think that is detrimental to yourself and the people around you. It just seems like it to me. It's just not natural. If you have a way of speaking, if you have a way of expressing things, and you stunt that with a more standardized or more accepted way of speaking that's like run through a program, run through AI, it's like you're just limiting our potential. You're accepting a it's like accepting an idol rather than accepting the reality of the circumstances, the reality of people's expression, the reality of where people are at in their ability to express things. It's like there are people who might be really bad at expressing ideas, but then they use Grammarly. Like, let's say someone uses Grammarly to like make up a resume or a cover letter. It's like it leaves the boss in a position to read that stuff, and they now have no true foundation to ground or like appreciate the true value of the person applying for the job, because all they see is the standardized like way of expressing. So it's like a lot of people that can't express well, they'll use that, and it's almost like a trick. It's like I would not be able to express or articulate what I actually need for the job, but I run it through this program, or I do my essay on, through Chat GPT, and it's like now it's more presentable than I otherwise. Like, it hurts the person observing the writing, because they can't actually make a true estimation of the value in whatever they're reading. And it hurts the person who used the program in order to alter their natural expression, because now if they are to be critiqued or graded, or to be their natural expression to be improved on, and like all the lessons that they would learn by having that natural expression, all of that potential is now taken away, and it's only made standard by those programs. It's not good. It's not good. And I just want to talk about it. It's just not good. And the longer it goes on, and the more standardized the different ways, it's like the same people who say, oh, when you're presenting a speech, you should like move your hands a certain way, you should have certain inflections. It's like these people understand how people work to a biological level. They understand like what's pleasing to the flesh, you know what I mean? And they use that to get ahead, which is not good. It's not good. It's actually worse than anything. Like it's literally like the bottom of the barrel way of interacting with language, spirit, the world, each other, themselves, and so on. It's not good. It's limiting us as a species to a very high degree. I think to a degree that has unforeseen consequences. People don't understand like what it means to eliminate like nature in that kind of capacity, or in that kind of way. All the things that we do in society that eliminate nature, they're going to destroy us. It's not a question. It's the reality of whatever circumstance that is trying to eliminate and deny nature, or deny instinct, or deny human beings' natural inclination, or to use human beings' nature against them at their expense without them knowing, is also like, that is just going to cause destruction. There's nothing else that comes from it at all. There's nothing. Even like all the things that one might consider to be good that come from it, it's like they don't see it in the long run. They might think it's quote unquote good at this time, because it might alleviate or ameliorate some problems that exist. But even then, it's like those people don't see the consequences in the long term of like what even that. It's like you can mend like a wound, or you can like repair something, but if you don't repair it to the requirement that it needs to actually be fully repaired, then it's never going to be fully repaired. It's just going to keep on breaking. So it's like that kind of dynamic where it's like, people could make arguments for why, but it helps this and this. It's like, just because it helps those things doesn't mean that we can say, it's necessarily good. And it's like, in my opinion, it's like anything that's taking away from nature in that kind of capacity, in the long run, you're gonna find out that it's bad. it's destructive. It limits your potential. It limits everyone's potential. It makes everyone's life worse. I don't know. That's my perspective on it. Grammarly and all that stuff, and like, to use human beings to use their drives, or to use their habits, or to use anything like that in order to appear more alluring or more, is actually destructive in the long run. It's not good. It's like a trick. It's like dark magic, just bad. It's manipulative, and all those kinds of things. They're manipulating themselves. They're manipulating the people that view them. They're manipulating their own potential for the negative. That's what I think these programs do, and I just wanted to talk about it and give my 2 cents on it. So yeah, I think that's it, and I think that's the last video for today. I'm glad I got all this out. What's this one?
Gramerly,
yeah.
AI-generated text as the precursor to Tower of Babel.
Yeah.
Language control.
Total language control. Yeah, it's just like there's a way to use language that is actually very concise, very, like, the way the language is set up. You can use it in that capacity, and you'd be correct in using it that way. But for people that don't use language the way that it should be used, you can't, like, mask the fact that you don't know how to use the language properly. You just have to use it in the best capability, or the best way that you know how, and then just, like, it's your own progression through understanding that language and refining the way you use that language, and so on. Tower of Babel, it's like, the world all had the same language, and God dispersed them, and they gave them different languages and stuff. That's kind of like what that stuff is doing. It's, like I said, it's standardizing language to such a degree where it's like everyone is on the same level of language. So there's no, when you achieve such a level of language throughout a whole society, and everyone is talking the same, it limits people's ability to make improvement, or and this improvement seeps into not only, like, it seeps into everything. It's not solely about the language. It's also about, like, worldview, how you perceive objects, how you use objects, how you interact with the world. It's like all of this is based in language. So when you have a standardized language that's across everyone, and everyone's at the same level, like, everyone loses the expressions that they would naturally have, and they just use that expression, and that does not foster growth. That does not foster, like, it takes away the ability to appreciate a lot of things, and that does not enrich life. That takes away from life's ability to enrich us through experience, through what we can experience. And I think that's that must be the reason why God wanted to do that, or to disperse people in that kind of way. It's like he gave everyone, it's like the heaven on earth that was trying to be created or reached, even like in a physical sense with an actual tower, or a metaphysical sense where it's like everyone is on the same playing field. It's like that is not for earth, or the earth that we live in, or the world that we live in. So it's like, for us to create that here, it's like making the world that is supposed to be enriching, like, super bland, and it makes it boring, and it eliminates enrichment, or the variety, or the thing that makes life more fun, more exciting, more like all of these things that we could feel because of the differences in our ability to express language. When we eliminate that, all of the joy that we could be grateful for in life is completely diminished. And I think that's, I don't know, it's just important. I think it's important, so I want to talk about it. I think it's really, really important. this is like a quality and dynamic at play with all like cultural phases, all cultural like fads, all passing things. It's like everyone adopts a certain mindset, a certain worldview, and then it lasts so long where no one can express anything new about it, so it becomes bland and they move on to the next new thing. I mean, that is what happens, you know what I'm saying? So for language to be standardized in such a degree where it's like across everyone is doing the same thing, but when it's so complete like that, it's like an ant death circle. It's like they don't know where to go, so they just march in a circle until they're dead. It's like that. It's like they just keep expressing that same culture until they die, and they don't realize that there's a whole world of potential that they've closed themselves off to. They're not aware of that. They're not aware of that that's even possible, and all they have is that program that they run completely into the ground. There's just nothing else. And God, it seems like He just doesn't want that for us here. Like that is for the next world, or even in that world, it's like we might be given. It's like here we have limited potential, we have limited conditioning, we have all this limit that permits us to express different ways in living in the world that can produce joy. But it's like we might get to like the kingdom of heaven or the kingdom of God, and it's like the potential there might be limitless, and the joy that we could feel in the different things that go on in that world could be limitless. And it's like if that is the truth of that world, it's like you could see why God would want to like destroy the Tower of Babel for man to create, you know, a kind of false heaven on earth, because it doesn't do anything for our spiritual growth. It diminishes it almost completely, if not completely. I don't know, just some interesting things that I like to think about. Again, like it's just all my videos are going to be stuff like that. So I hope you enjoy it if you're watching, and I hope these things enrich you and make you more thoughtful about, you know, your own life and how you express yourself, and to look for authenticity and learn how to be genuine with yourself. All these kinds of things I just love so much. And every kind of thing that I'm trying to talk about is geared toward, you know, having people consider the things that I've considered and still do and think about in order to foster that kind of growth for themselves. That's what I'm doing. So, you know, whether or not I can achieve that, I don't know, but that's what I'm trying. So, I hope you enjoyed listening to this and any of the other videos. You know, I look forward. I really wish more people would comment on the things that I've said over the past year or so, but I don't know. I don't know why people don't comment. I feel like maybe sometimes the way in which I speak about things, it doesn't leave room for people to say anything. I think that might be part of it. It's just like I really feel like maybe it's not part of it, but it feels like sometimes when I'm talking about these things, it's like I don't leave room for anyone to say anything other than like, yeah, you know, it's just okay, like I agree, or you know, I disagree, or you know, I really wish, if anything, that I had comments that were about like people maybe like critiquing what I'm saying, or like trying to give me a reason to better articulate or look at from these kinds of things from a different perspective. That would be most helpful. But I don't know. I really got to get to work. It's been fun sitting here talking about this stuff, but I really got to go, and that was the last one anyway. So I hope you have a good day, and thanks for watching, and thanks for listening, and I'll have more to talk about later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.